talking. Amelia, Amelia, how could you leave me on this way? I knew I should have stayed away. Amelia, Amelia, there's nothing more left to say. It's time to go our separate ways. They say that time is a healer. I don't believe what they say. I'm broken anyway. Ever since we parted, all this pain has started. It's never ending. On a roll, this emptiness. Each time I try to get inside, you're on my own. No time for talking. Amelia, Amelia, how could you lead me on this way? I knew I should have stayed away. Amelia, Amelia, there's nothing more left to say. It's time to go our separate ways. Don't tell me you love me when you're sorry. It's not enough. Ooh, no. Only this time I woke and broken free. Amelia, Amelia, how could you lead me on this way? I knew I should have stayed away. Amelia, Amelia, there's nothing more left to say. It's time to go our separate ways. Amelia, Amelia, how could you lead me on this way? I knew I should have stayed away. Amelia, 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 Amelia. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another live stream Saturday. And a bit of a relaxed start to tonight's live stream, starting out with Amelia, and that's the version that I recorded myself playing it and singing it, and then recorded myself again playing it and singing it, but harmonising with myself, and it worked out all right in the end. So thank you for requesting that over on Patreon, guys, and for you guys joining me in the live chat room. And we've got Dawn in there, Cindy. It's gone to. Let me look a little bit further down. Okay, we've got Howard, Muriel, Joe, Laurie, Chant of the North, Wallflower, Pamela, Bob, 123 Rockchild, Deborah, Dawn, Kathy, Robert, Walter, Laura, Art Ackerman, Linda, Lucy, Christine, Billy's in there as well, and Ronnie. Hello, thank you for joining me tonight on what is the weekend of, well, it's kind of fireworks evening tomorrow night. I say fireworks evening, I think it's more commonly known as Guy Fawkes night, and that's where everyone sets off lots of fireworks, even though they've been setting them off tonight. I don't know if people are doing tonight or they're going to be doing it tomorrow, but I think the thing from school, or at least what people said, was something like remember the 5th of November, but I'm questioning whether it was the 4th of November, because the problem with that particular rhyme is that remember rhymes with November, but it doesn't give you the date. It doesn't give you the day to rhyme with anything. So you could say remember the 9th of November. It's still works for that. So I think it's the 5th of November, which will be tomorrow night, which will be Sunday. So there have been fireworks tonight, and maybe there'll be even more tomorrow. I'm not sure. But again, this is a bit like Halloween. I mean, we've never really gone out as a family when I was younger for fireworks night. We might have maybe just stayed at home and got those sparklers, and you can, if you're really fast, you can write your name and then it stays in the air but then it disappears. So anyway, that's what's going on here in the UK. But actually, what's more been going on here in the UK is the Storm Ciaran, which is that's what it's called. That's what we've been calling it on the news, and unfortunately it's absolutely ravaged especially the coastline of the UK, the south coast, and it worked its way in a little bit as well, and there were weather warnings, all that kind of stuff. And typically, you guys will know over on Patreon, typically the day that it was at its strongest was on Thursday. And Thursday was when I was due to go into London and see Animals as Leaders, because they'd invited me down to go and watch them play. But sadly, because of the storm and potentially trees falling over and all that kind of stuff, they did issue a weather warning saying that if you don't have to go out, if it isn't absolutely necessary, then we advise that you stay indoors. So yeah, I did say over on Patreon, it kind of feels like it would be just my luck that a tree falls on me or falls on my car. So yeah, the winds were a little bit silly on Thursday, but as you can imagine, I think they said that there was a tornado or a mini tornado on the south coast, because some people's houses, actually got destroyed. Like they had roofing that was blown off, and literally like the second floor of somebody's house is blown away, and there's flooding as well. This is the other thing that has been accompanied by loads of rain, so people have literally lost their houses that have received so much damage from water and the rain that we don't usually get storms here in the UK, or not, at least we might have strong winds, but nothing that actually has a name. That's something that we do associate with other countries, such as over in the USA, where they have storms that they call storms because they're so big. And we had that in the UK, and sadly it's just a very bad situation for everyone on the coast. I was lucky in that I wasn't affected with anything blowing off the house or anything, I kind of got away with that side of things, but I made sure that I didn't go out, so I ensured my safety, or at least just trusted that the house would stand. But it wasn't that bad. I mean, the over 100 miles an hour winds were on the coast, so going into more inland, I mean, you could tell that it was definitely very windy, but it wasn't strong enough to blow in windows. I mean, that's another thing, that people's windows are blowing in because it was so powerful. But luckily it didn't quite get that bad where I was. So anyway, that's just what's been happening in the UK. And I mean, for some reason, I'm going to get the hair update out of the way early on. I think my hair has decided that it's going along the theme of a storm, because for some reason this hair over here is wanting to go over this side. It's actually curling around. No, it's curling that way. So I don't know what's going on with the hair tonight, but that's it is like I've been outside, but I haven't been outside. It's just decided that it wants to curl, and it keeps on getting in my eyes if I have to keep on doing that. That's why, to make sure that I can see everything. So let's get into this live stream as we normally do, and get the names of my patrons up on screen. And what is this saying? This is not... That said, that'll be the day and something else. That is officially a gremlin on tonight's live stream. That's the first time that has ever happened, that it's showing... I don't even know what it said. I'm going to have to watch the... Oh, I can see it on this flautist something. That'll be the day. So I don't know what is going on with that. Let me just actually totally reset. I'm going to see if I can actually find the list and see exactly what it's doing. Okay, right. We're having a bit of a glitch, and I'm going to stick with this. I'm going to try and go from there. If I grab that and move that there and just press that and maybe I do a save so that I've just reset it so that maybe now it's going to read the words. But I wonder what that was. It must have been some kind of line of code well within the system that is just random, and it just shows random letters or words and things as a bit of the coding. I don't know. But anyway, let's reset it. And it should start with sponsored by the wings of Pegasus patrons. So let's see. Yeah, there we have it. So, I mean, that's the first time in 5 years, maybe longer than that, using this software that a glitch has happened on that. Usually, I mean, it is a bit glitchified with that, because sometimes it starts in the wrong order. It does show the names, but it kind of jumbles them about, and sometimes it shows them in the right order, starting with the sponsored by, which it should start with every time. But that's the software for you. Anyway, it is now going, and a huge thank you to everybody at the bottom of the screen for making this possible in the first place, making everything that I do possible, and I always say it's the foundation of everything that I do. So yeah, big shout out to these lovely people at the bottom of the screen. So let me get also the likes goal going. That is set at 370 for tonight, so quite a lot of likes we are looking for. If you could leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be fantastic, because if we do hit that target, we're going to be having a fill jam. And I'm not sure that I updated this from number 53. It might be number 54. So I'm going to take a gamble that it is number 54, just because I can't remember updating it. So there we go. If it wasn't, or if it isn't number 54 and I didn't update it, I tell you what I might be quickly going over to the Patreon page to see. And Joe has indeed bumped the list, which helps me out a lot. And, oh, it's number 55, so I was 2 behind. So thank you for that, Joe, for bumping it on my message list so that I can see it at the top and find out that we are at number 55 tonight. And it says, gem with some distortion and reverb / echo maybe. Right, so that's what we're going to be doing tonight, and the gem is plugged in. So that is good, it's all set up, I won't have to redo all that. Right, getting back to it, and the likes goal, the likeometer. Let me get the likeometer up on screen, see where we are at the moment. 239, aiming for 370, so we've made quite a big dent in that already. Thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up, and I'm waiting for one more person to do it to make the maths a little bit easier, but I think it'll be 131. There we go, 130. So yeah, it would have been 131 that we were looking for. We're now looking for 130 more people to get involved. Hit that thumbs up, and I can see that we've got 252 people watching at the moment. So there's 10 people who haven't hit the thumbs up yet. I don't know whether that is actually true or not, but if you can hit that thumbs up, that would be great. And then we can have this fill jam at the end of the live stream, which sounds like it's going to be a bit of a heavier one with the gem and some distortion, reverb, echo, delay, you name it. We will see what happens. So we do have the vote going on at the top of the live chat room for tonight's cover video, and that's between Give Me All Your Lovin' and Just Got Lucky. So yeah, a bit of a contrast between those two songs, but you can vote for whichever one of those you want to hear later on. And of course it's going to be my version of either of those two songs. The other thing is that I haven't actually double checked this, but I heard a rumour, or at least I saw a donation over on PayPal that I think was from Paul, mentioning something, or I might have imagined that because it just popped up as a notification. But let me have a quick jump into the PayPal window and make sure that everything is okay in there. But this is where I say that you don't have to donate. Just watching the channel is great. Maybe hitting the thumbs up, subscribing, hitting that notification bell is all good as well, so that you get notified for all the videos and the live streams. But let me make sure that that shows up, just so you know where your money goes, in case you can't resist donating. But you don't have to donate, but if you do, through the super chat window, between 40 and 65% goes to YouTube, and through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below, between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal. So I tried to do the maths on this before, but it means that potentially through YouTube I'll get about, well, the most or the least I'll get about 40% or 55%. There you go, there's a bit of maths. So I'm doing lots of this at the beginning of the live stream. So through YouTube I get between 40 and 55%, and through PayPal I get between 95% and 97%. So there you go. I mean, technically that means that PayPal, I just realised this, I get double through PayPal. It actually makes its way to me personally, rather than it going, you know, half over half to YouTube. And yeah, that's something that I did a calculation on after one live stream to see exactly how much I got. And yeah, when they say that, oh, YouTube takes 35%, I actually calculated that no way do they only take that amount. So anyway, but you don't have to donate, so don't worry about all of that kind of stuff. But if you were to, I think it's important you know exactly where your money goes and how much money actually makes it to me and how much is kind of given to other people. Obviously PayPal is, you know, hardly anything that they take, whereas YouTube is a hell of a lot, and they keep on trying to put adverts all over these live streams, so I have to be on my toes to see whenever there's a box that comes up that's quite small in the corner of the screen saying ad, and then it does a little countdown. I have to catch it before it gets to 0 so that we don't have to watch an advert. Obviously I don't have to watch an advert because I'm live streaming, but you guys might have to, and if you ask me a question I might be answering it and then an advert comes on and you might miss the answer. So I do try to skip those whenever I see them. Right, talking about donations, let's jump into the PayPal window, because there was a donation in there and I do address all of the donations. Thank you guys for these. And Ghislaine donated on Thursday at 9:08 in the morning to be exact, and the message is, Phil, this is to thank you from the bottom of my heart to help me pass through a hard time. I love you so much, multiple talented guy. You rock all the time. Much love and rock. So thank you for that, Ghislaine. And yes, thank you for the kind words, and I mean, tuning in, watching, getting involved, not only on the live streams but donating, and that goes for all you guys as well in that live chat room, for joining me on a Tuesday and a Saturday. And just quickly, with the time zones, I did mention in the last live stream that you might have to look at what the time is in the UK, because I believe people's clocks have changed over in the USA, or maybe some people have changed them in the USA. I don't know how it works, but maybe we're a little bit out of sync, or at least, you know, we're out of sync for however long that the clocks have been changed for, and then we get used to this timing, and then they'll change when they change in the future, and then we get used to that timing. So I think it might be the case that people are either tuning in an hour early or an hour late, but it seems like quite a lot of you are in the house tonight. So the clue was over on Patreon, because on Patreon I always, well, I say 99% of the time, I have an update where I say that we're going live in 1 hour's time. So yeah, if you were over on Patreon and you saw that post, then you could calculate that it means that whatever the time is where you are, it will be an hour from when you see that post. Maybe a little bit less if you didn't read the post straight away. But anyway, yes, it is now 21 minutes past 11 here, and we go live at 11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So yeah, just type time in London, England into Google, and you'll be able to find exactly what time it is here, and you can calculate what the times are, what the time is where you are, and make sure that you are here live. But you can watch it on catch up as well, of course. Hello to you guys in the catch up crew who still hit the thumbs up, and thank you guys for doing that. Every single thumbs up really does help the live stream to get out there a little bit more and for the channel to grow on the whole. So yes, we have had another donation, and this came through from Chuck for £2. So thank you for that, Chuck, and that is a straight up donation. And Nicole donated £10 and 72 pence. So thank you for that, Nicole. And the message is, hello, Phil. I send you my best thoughts, and I hope the storm did not do any damage in your lovely kingdom. Be careful, love, and cheers. So thank you for that, Nicole. And yeah, I mean, I was lucky that I wasn't affected with any kind of building damage or flooding, anything like that. So yeah, I do count myself lucky on that side of things, but a lot of other people weren't so lucky. So thank you for that. And oh, here we go. Paul donated $5, and this was the one that I saw that just popped up, and it did say, yay, 328,000 subscribers. So I'm going to trust Paul that that is correct. And did I change this? Yes, I did when I saw the notification. So there we go. 328,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for subscribing and getting involved on the channel, all that cool stuff. It's always great when we have another 1,000 people get involved. That's generally when we have these notifications. I say just every 1,000. Yeah, 1,000 is a lot of people. So let's shut. Oh no, I told everyone to be quiet, but the thing didn't disappear. And now it has coincided, so we are fine. But yes, I mean, going up by 1,000 people is great, and thank you guys for subscribing. And yeah, thinking back to when I had 1,500 subscribers, I mean, that was the case for a very long time. And actually, yeah, over on Patreon, things were at 1,500 subscribers for a very long time for me. I was out there, gigging and doing the band thing, and it was only up until kind of 5 years ago that things then started to take off. So yeah, I mean, I've been playing in bands since the age of 19. So there you go, literally over 20 years. So yeah, and then in the last 5 years, so it only took about 15 years. And it's just reminded me that over on Patreon, I got a message, and it was from Suzanne. And Suzanne, we were talking about, she was sending me a link to somebody who was on YouTube, and she said he got, I can't remember exactly what the wording was, but he got his start in the same way that you did on the X Factor. So the X Factor that I went on, I mean, just to prove a point that you don't have to be musically talented. If you just make a bit of a spectacle of yourself, you will get on TV, you will get publicity ahead of other people who are actually talented. And I did prove my point, because I did get to the TV stages. Not only that, I got through the first TV stage, and then was at Wembley Arena for the next TV stage. So yeah, it's all a bit crazy. But anyway, yeah, that was 10 years ago, and yeah, within months of being over 10 years ago. So yeah, what happens there is, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. If you don't get really far in the competition, and sometimes even if you do, people will know you for, I mean, in my case, I was on a Saturday and a Sunday, and that was it. So it was literally just 2 days that people saw me, and I'd say that lasted for maybe a month. That people recognise you, and then after a couple of months, because the TV show keeps on going, that they forget about the previous acts that have kind of all the previous auditions. So yeah, that was just a couple of months. People might recognise me because of the hair. I think that was half of it. But yeah, from then on, I mean, and I didn't get any new subscribers. And this is the point about talent shows like that, is that they don't publicise the artist. So at no point was Wings of Pegasus mentioned. Even my surname wasn't mentioned. I was just referred to as Phil with an F. And that didn't give me any publicity, because nobody, if you type that in to, I mean, now, it might still be there from the X Factor, I'm not sure. But at the time, that didn't mean anything to anybody. And they didn't know anything about Wings of Pegasus. And that was the name of my band, and that was my music. So it meant that, yeah, it's just a TV show, and you don't get anything from that. The only thing that I did get from it, that I knew that I'd get from it, is royalties for my song, because I made sure that I performed that on TV, on the TV show. Therefore, Simon Cowell has to pay me whenever my audition is shown. So that was something that I intentionally did, knowing how the music industry works and how publishing rights work and how royalties work. But that's the thing, that on a TV show you don't get anything from it. And I was still at 1,500 subscribers until about 5 years ago, where things started to take off. And I think that was probably a combination of my patrons who I'd had for maybe a couple of years at that time. And again, nothing to do with X Factor. I think people don't even know about that 10 years ago. I think people more get involved with the analysis videos on YouTube and these live streams, all that kind of stuff. So the interview videos as well that I've done with singers and guitarists that are on the channel. So it's great. But it was just quite funny to hear Suzanne refer to that. Because I know that absolutely nothing happens, because I've been through it. Nothing happens from going on a TV show. And even if you win it, you might be known for a year or a couple of years, but then the prize of signing the £500,000 recording contract, you don't get any money from that. And once that album's done, you then get dropped. And as is the case with these TV shows, the next year there's now a new artist who is signed, and the year before that person's now gone. And you have to be very lucky to have longevity in a career like that when you're known for winning a TV show. So I mean, if you think about name all of the winners from particular TV shows over the years, and generally people can't. They don't know who won. Like, say for example, the last 5 years, all they know are the people who won, and they are the rare case that had a successful career. For example, Kelly Clarkson's one of those. I think she was on a talent show, or a version of a talent show, and she was one of those that did well and had a career. And I think she then had a TV show and she was interviewing people. At least I saw her doing that. So this is it. That's the exception to the rule. And when you think about how many people enter those talent shows, you've got one person, that I can think of off the top of my head. But then again, I say breaking into the mainstream industry. Like, she did that, and she's now somebody that I know. I think was on one of those talent shows. But if you think about the amount of people that enter that, and sadly they might even win it, but then they end up sometimes just having an album and then not doing anything. The album doesn't do very well, they get dropped, and now people might recognize them, but that's even worse, because now you're recognized but you're not making any money because you've been dropped, and you've got to go and get a job wherever you can get one. And then people see you sitting behind the till and they go, oh, you're the person who won that show. They go, but I got dropped. So, sadly, it doesn't pay the bills, just signing a recording contract, because that's a loan. Right. Anyway, thank you, Paul, bringing it back to the donations. And there's a donation from Marion as well for £10. So thank you for that. And that was a straight up donation. And Tammy has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Tammy. The message is, hi Phil, congratulations on hitting 328,000 subscribers. Are there any causes that you are passionate about? If so, what are they? Keep on rocking. So thank you for that, Tammy. And I mean, I think I've had a similar question to this before about, charities and, giving to charity. And I say that the main one or the one that I've given most to would be cancer research, and that's actually going at the moment, the Stand Up for Cancer event that we have here, that was last night on TV, where celebrities do different challenges, but it's just something that runs throughout the night. And then you can, I think it's probably the same thing in different countries, where you can text in a particular amount, and they show you the number, and it's kind of an entertainment evening, but also showing the stories of people who have died from cancer, and talking to family members and people that are then kind of trying to spread the word about it. So that's actually last night, Stand Up to Cancer. So that's probably the one that, for me, I think everybody's been affected by cancer in some way, shape or form, and that's something that has been a part of my family's history, unfortunately. But that's the one that I lean towards most. But generally, I mean, there's comic relief as well. That's another thing we have here in the UK, and it's a similar kind of thing where, you know, there's an evening where they do kind of lots of different challenges, and sometimes have, you know, actors that come in and do comedy sketches and all that kind of stuff. So yes, I have, you know, given to comic relief, but I think it's very difficult for this is I don't know, you know, get controversial with it, but I know that a lot of people, especially here in the UK, you know, times have been tough because energy prices have, or they did go through the roof, and I think they're just coming down a little bit now, but it means that the cost of living has been crazy, and it means that people who are paying a mortgage, for example, you know, their interest rates have gone up so much that instead of having to pay, you know, £700 a month, they're now having to spend like £1,200 a month on their mortgage, but they're still earning the same. They haven't got a pay rise in their job, so now they're having to decide whether, or you're not even having to decide, they've got to pay their mortgage, and now they can't afford to heat their houses. So yeah, it's a bit of a contentious issue, especially when celebrities who have a lot of money are asking the public to give what they can to these charities. Because, yeah, it's certainly something that, I mean, yeah, I don't want to get controversial with it, but you think, well, I always see it as how much do people need to live? And, yeah, I don't think it's that much. You know, you can have a house, and this is where the bigger the house is, the more your mortgage is going to be. Therefore, the more money you're going to need. But if you think, right, well, what do I need in a house? You'll need a kitchen. You might need a living room and a couple of bedrooms. So yeah, for me, I always think that anything that's, you know, a little bit outlandish, like buying multiple cars, all that kind of stuff, I see it as if you don't need to buy things, then you would have money that you could donate, you know, yourselves. And yeah, I think that's something that I know people on the street and the people that are struggling who literally can't pay their bills, when somebody's asking them to give to charity, and the person asking might have, you know, a house that's worth a couple of million and might drive a sports car or maybe a couple of cars or a few cars, and they're saying give what you can. It's like, well, you know, we need to turn the mirror around a little bit and say, well, give what you can. You don't need 3 cars. You can only drive one at one time. So sell those. Give that the money from those sales. But obviously everyone's different, and it's your money. You can spend whatever you want on different things. I just think that when it comes to those kind of things, that people quite rightly think, well, you know, you shouldn't be asking me for money. Ask the people that are obviously doing very well. So anyway, thank you for that, Tammy. And yeah, got a bit sidetracked with that, but I think a lot of people can see it from that point of view. I think I saw something on either Instagram or one of these other social media sites where it was Oprah Winfrey and The Rock. I say The Rock. Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson used to be a wrestler called The Rock, and I think he's maybe mostly known here. I think it's probably half and half, because we knew him as The Rock. Like a wrestler, but then he got into movies. But so it was him and Oprah Winfrey asking people to donate, and you can imagine the comments under that particular video from people who didn't have as much money, and being asked by them to, come on, give for this charity. It's like, okay, anyway. Let's move on. Debbie has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Debbie. And the message is, hi Phil, I love the Jodie Mitchell analysis. Congrats on 328,000 subscribers. Have you ever been to Stonehenge? You are amazing. Love you, Debbie. So thank you for that. And Stonehenge, made famous by Spinal Tap, of course. Not really, but if you have seen that movie, it's whenever somebody says Stonehenge now, that's just what I think of. Because of that particular song, or should I say performance, you have to watch the performance if you haven't seen it. I suppose you could type that in on YouTube, just type in Stonehenge Spinal Tap. But yeah, they got things lost in translation with the measurements of Stonehenge. But anyway, if you haven't seen it, check it out. But I have been to Stonehenge, and it was my aunt who lived quite close to Stonehenge, and I don't know whether it was actually related to that. It might not have even been related to that, but I know that she lived quite close to it. It might have actually been a school trip to Stonehenge, but I have been there, and yeah, the stones are, well, they're quite big, and they were probably quite heavy. So yeah, very, very impressive. However they did that, I think what they maybe did, or at least what I saw a documentary hypothesizing that they did, was roll the rocks on logs and kind of push them along in order to get them in position, and then maybe make some kind of ancient crane to lift them up. I don't know how they did it, but it's the same thing with the pyramids. And this is another thing, getting sidetracked, but talking about the pyramids, and I've never been to Egypt, I've never seen them, but what I have done is seen them in VR. Now this is another thing with technology and how it moves on, is that in a VR headset, it gives you, I mean, it's great because it was the pyramids, and then, yeah, that's obviously Egypt, but then it started going into loads of other places, like, you know, Athens, and, you know, even going over, you know, seeing, you know, places in different countries that I haven't visited. Great Wall of China, there's another one. But it was VR, so you can get a sense of the scale of it, because it's like you're standing there and you're seeing it in 3D, or as if it's there. So yeah, that is the one thing that when I was looking at the pyramids in VR, you realise how big they are. Because I've only ever seen pictures and never virtually stood next to one of the blocks. You think, yeah, how have they done that? And then that's when you start thinking about, you know, these arguments of people saying that aliens did it. You think, well, yeah, how did they move these and build a pyramid? Because you'd have to lift one on top of the other, and they're absolutely huge. So yeah, well, this is why it's a wonder. You know, nobody knows. But let's not get into aliens again. But thank you for that, Debbie, for that $10 donation. And Kathy has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that. The message is, hi Phil, what's your favourite Pink Floyd song, album or solo? Have a great night, Kathy. So thank you for that. Okay, right, I'm just going to pick out a song, or maybe a couple of songs. I'll try and pick out a song. So from teaching guitar, Wish You Were Here was one of those that I did teach quite a lot, and yeah, it's something that is requested quite a lot from people wanting to be able to play. Yeah, and it's not certainly the chords are easier to do, you know, once you start getting into solos and all that kind of stuff. And talking about solos, Comfortably Numb. There you go. There's even though I had to pick, did I have to pick one? Yeah, a song would be, yeah, I'd have to go with probably Comfortably Numb over Wish You Were Here, because that solo kind of kicks off at the end of the song there. So yeah, I'd go for that. Yeah, I mean, thinking of another brick in the wall as well, you know, I have to say that I didn't listen to a lot of Pink Floyd. You know, it's just something that, you know, you think that I probably would have listened to quite a lot, but it's just something that I think maybe because it's more mainstream, and I was kind of getting into Jimi Hendrix and then hard rock, and, you know, especially Eddie Van Halen as a guitarist, but Van Halen. That, wow, has anybody got a tribute band called Han Valen? There must be one out there. But anyway, yeah, Van Halen as a band, yeah, I got into them, then got into 80s hard rock, and, you know, bands like, yeah, Winger and Dokken and all that kind of thing, and, you know, Guns N' Roses, and going down that avenue, it didn't naturally overlap with Pink Floyd. It's only then a little bit later on that I started listening to, you know, a bit of the lead work and yeah, realising there's a hell of a lot going on there. So anyway, there you have it. What did I say? Comfortably numb. That's what I go for. So thank you for that, Kathy. And Vera has donated £7.75, and the message is donation. So thank you for that, Vera. And another one's come through from Simon, and this is for £5. So thank you for that, Simon. And the message is, you on X Factor, as if you were not aware. Oh, okay, so yeah, thank you for that, Simon. And there's a link, obviously, to the video that is somewhere. I think it's, I don't know where that'll be. What tends to happen is, when a video is uploaded, it must have been uploaded from the official YouTube channel of the X Factor in the UK. And then other people take the video and just kind of share it around as well. But thank you for that, Simon. And yeah, it's not something that I watch. I saw it when it was first on TV, just watching with my family, obviously, just to see it. I think my sister couldn't stop laughing at, I can't remember, it was right at the beginning where, because I was just trying to make a spectacle of myself, when they kind of record this footage that isn't anything to do with the auditions, but it's like background footage. So they just record people coming up and telling the people who take the names what your name is, and what you're going to be performing or whatever, or, all that kind of stuff. So they were recording that. So to make a spectacle of myself, I think I put my foot up on the table and then pretended to kind of hit a power chord, and then I introduced myself doing that. So that's something that I remember my sister couldn't stop laughing because it was so ridiculous. But that was very much the point. And that made it onto TV. So that's what I'm saying. If you do silly stuff, you will get featured. So anyway, thank you for that, Simon. Right. 44 minutes past 11. So things are moving along. We are at 338 likes for tonight's live stream. So we are getting close. That means we're looking for 32 more likes, I do believe. So if you could hit that thumbs up, that would be much appreciated, because we're aiming for 370 tonight to have Phil Jam number 55. So I can see, that we might make it. I mean, we are pretty close. I'd say 32, and we've probably got about half an hour of the live stream left, so we could do it. Hit that thumbs up. It'll be much appreciated. So we do have, I think, of a bit of a one-sided vote for tonight in that cover video with Give Me All Your Lovin' has 66% of the vote. But if there are any Dokken fans out there, then make sure that you vote for the other, the other cover for tonight, which is Just Got Lucky by Dokken. But yeah, it's going to be quite a lot that you have to do to turn that one over. But we will see. So what we might do is, did we used to jump into, I think we used to jump into the cover video at about 1:45 or 10:45, which leaves us enough time. Actually, what I can do is, because I got Joe's message here, I can have a look as to how long tonight's Phil Jam might be if we do hit the target. 6 minutes and 14 seconds. So it's in the middle, so we might have a little bit of time to do. We haven't done a riff of the week in quite a long time, so I tell you what, I always say, right, let's do a riff of the week, and I know that I haven't set it up, but because it's a little bit, I'm a little bit spontaneous, I just decided that we're going to do it. So what I need from you guys in that live chat room is a number between 1 and 100. And let me have a little look over here. Go into my inbox, because Laura has sent me the Riff of the Week list. So thank you for that. And that was right at the top of my inbox, so it makes it very easy. So we're looking, for a number between 1 and 100. And we're going to be taking a look at whichever one we haven't done yet. We have done quite a lot of these. So I think we're going to have to get a bit lucky in order to hit a riff that we haven't had already. So let's have a look at some numbers. Laura says 28. 28 we have had. Bang Bang Drummer says 22. 22 we have had. 54 is coming to terms. 54 we have had. 77 says Dwayne. 77 we have had, but that was almost one that we haven't had. 66 sounds like a number. I was going to say it sounds like a number that would be requested or suggested a lot, but it hasn't been. Number 66 is what we're going to be listening to tonight. So, a riff of the week. 66. Right, here it is. Click on that. Pause. Right, let me get a, again, screen capture of this. Don't know what it's going to look like on the screen, but let's just put it on screen and see what happens. That's all right, we can see it just about. So we're looking for the name of the song. You can give me the name of the band or the artist if you want to as well, but we're looking for the name of this song that this riff comes from. So let's have a listen to this and see if we can suss out what it is. There we have it. I think this is an easy one for tonight. And Rocker Girl says rainbow, of course. And Stefan says, oh well. And on my screen, that is the first correct guess to come through. So Stefan said, oh well. Split Image 137 said, oh well. So that was close between those two guesses, Stefan and Split Image 137. Let's have a little look down. Dwayne says, oh well. Joe says, oh well. Carlos says, oh well. Part 1. Walter said, oh well as well. And Cindy and who else do we have? Going down, just scrolling down. There must be more. I mean, Laurie says Aussie. So yeah, not quite. And Tom says, oh well as well. So yeah, congratulations to you who are who are getting them correctly. Oh yeah, let me actually get rid of this so we can see what's going on. Right, so yeah, that was it. Oh well was correct. Karen said not a clue. Mutt says, oh well, not E. So yes, thank you for that. Right, and T. Nelson saying, oh well. Congratulations to those of you who guessed that correctly. That's another riff of the week done and dusted. We are going to be jumping into the cover video because we do have a picture corner. I think just one picture tonight that we'll look at after the cover video. But I do have to set up the screen capture for that because I've just changed it in order to get the riff of the week. So I will do that while this song is playing, whichever it is, and I think it's going to be Gimme All Your Lovin', which, yes, is the winner with 65% of the vote. So let's have a little listen to this, obviously my version of the ZZ Top Classic. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll catch you guys after. Rock!
Hello, Phil here. Thank you.
And hello, Phil here again. So that's one of those videos that, because it fades out, it's really difficult to time when to click the button to stop. And the other thing is, when I click the button for it to start, then I'm just holding something wrong, and I just have to hold that for about 3 seconds. So anyway, I think I can change that actually on the. I should have just changed it on the software, but I have to do that at some point in the future so that it starts suddenly and it stops suddenly and doesn't fade out, so that I can time it a little bit better. But anyway, thank you guys for requesting that over on Patreon, and for you guys voting for a little bit of ZZ Top as the cover video for tonight. We are going to be jumping into Picture Corner, and this is just going to be taking a look at one picture tonight. If you want to upload any pictures yourselves, if you've got any Wings of Pegasus merchandise, then you can do. Let's give a quick plug of the mug and all that kind of stuff, and a plug of the hoodie. Every time looking at the reflection, because it's mirrored what I'm looking at, so every time that I look at it I point in the wrong direction, and after about 5 years or something, I still haven't been able to think the other way round, so that when I look at an image that I have to reverse it in my head before pointing. So anyway, yeah, plug of the hoodie as well. You've got to get your hands on any Wings of Pegasus merchandise, such as the hoodie, the bucket hat, the cap, the mug, the t-shirts, the tumblers. Then you can click on the link in the description below, or you might have a tray underneath this video that's got merchandise in it. You can click on that and it will take you straight through to the spring.com site. And if you do have any merchandise that you want to take a picture of yourself with, you can then upload that picture to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook. So yeah, jump over there, and then I will get linked to those pictures by Laura. And I'm just checking before we jump into this that there wasn't a message with this particular picture, but we will jump into Picture Corner now. I'm just wondering whether I'm going to click. I've got so many buttons that I get lost as to which one is the right one to jump into Picture Corner. But here we have it. We are now in Picture Corner, and let's see where this appears on the screen. Okay, it's relatively in the middle, which is good. So we have Suzanne here, who's modelling her purple Wings of Pegasus t-shirt, because they are now available in purple. So thank you for this, Suzanne. And you can see that she's got a purple Dracula dude as well getting involved. And this is obviously because it has been Halloween, but it is Halloween no longer. The next thing here is fireworks night, which I've just explained at the beginning of the live stream. But then I guess the next thing after that is Christmas. And guess what? The 1st of November was the first time I saw a Christmas advert. So thank you, Suzanne, for sending that one in. But yeah, this is now the point at which they're starting to advertise for Christmas. So November the 1st. I mean, a little bit crazy, but you know, getting into the Christmas spirit and all that kind of stuff. It does feel like it has only just been a Christmas and New Year, and is happening again. So yeah, time is definitely speeding up. But I remember as a kid when time used to just last double. But then again, I guess when you're a kid, you're not really that busy. Whereas the older you get, the busier you are. So it means that every day you're always doing something. So you're never actually sitting down and appreciating time, because you're always having to get stuff done before time runs out. So it's like, right, I've got to finish that because I've got to go to bed. So I've got to quickly finish that. You go to bed, then you get up in the morning, go, right, I quickly got to do that because I've got to finish that before that, and then I've got to do this, and then I've got to do that. And time just disappears, and days disappear, and weeks disappear, and obviously it's getting to the point where now years disappear. But yeah, when you're a kid, like in the summer, you have what, about 8 weeks where you just do nothing. It's like 8 weeks worth of time. So yeah, and this is the other thing, when people are surprised when kids are so good at doing something. For example, playing the guitar, and they say, "Oh wow, this kid You know, they might only be 9 or 10 years of age, and they're already amazing at playing guitar. And then I think, or I sometimes say, yes, but they have 8 weeks of doing nothing. If they want to practice the guitar every day for multiple hours for 8 weeks, they can do. That's the kind of time that as an adult, you don't have that luxury to go, right, I'm just not going to work for 8 weeks and I'm going to play the guitar for maybe 4 or 5 hours a day. And I assure you, after 8 weeks of doing that, you will be significantly more technically, technically advanced, but technically proficient at the instrument. You would make so much, improvement, or so many gains over those 8 weeks if you did it 4 or 5 hours a day, which kids can do. And then guess what? What do you do at Easter? Well, it's the Easter holidays. Okay, well, let's play more guitar. What about half term? You get a week off. Let's do more guitar. Christmas holidays. So yeah, the amount of time off you have as a kid, I think that's why the years just last for ages, because you're sitting there thinking, oh, what do I want to do? But then again, they say time flies when you're having fun. But I'm not sure that I buy that. I think time flies when you're really busy. Because then you think, well, it's Christmas again. It was only just Christmas. Maybe it's just an aging thing as well. The older you get, the faster time goes, or seems to. So anyway, yes, I will jump into the donations window because there have been a couple more donations in there. And let's get into this one. Oh, first of all, Carl donated £6, so thank you for that, Carl. And the message was, towards pizza or Chinese. So food donation. After the last donation, I haven't had Chinese, so that's still in the Chinese kitty. Even though it was Chinese or something else. It might have been all pizza. But, yeah, it's getting to the point where, Chinese or pizza is going to be a tough call, because I haven't had either of those in quite a long time. So, yeah, I'm a bit overdue some fast food. Even though, you're never really overdue fast food, but I always say that, having it once a week is fine, but I think it's more like once a month, if that I'm having it at the moment. So, yeah, I've got to get on that fast food train. But then again, I saw a TV show, and, I'm blabbering on about lots of different things. We will get into the Phil Jam, I promise, very soon. But, I saw a TV show that I think was from the USA. It must have been from the USA because she had an American accent. But anyway, it was something called My 600-Pound Life. And it was a woman who weighed over 600 pounds. And then they're trying to lose weight in order to have a surgery, or weight loss surgery, something like that. So, yeah, I saw a little bit of that. And, it's a difficult one because of my background in sport and exercise science. The guy who does the surgery, or they have a meeting with this guy who, I don't know where he's from, but he obviously is an American. He's got an accent, so he's from somewhere. He's not an American, but he's telling them to lose a particular amount of weight. In like 2 months, you've got to lose 60 pounds or something like that. And this particular woman was coming back and she hadn't lost the weight. And he was saying, well, you must be eating, you must be eating a lot of food to maintain your weight, because that's how it works. And then she said, no, I'm not eating. So I don't know what's going on. And she said, I wish that you could come with me to see that I'm not eating every day. And he was saying, oh, but you must be eating and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, for me, especially because I did nutrition, which was all part of the course at college and university, sport and exercise science, nutrition is all a part of that. But sadly, he wasn't explaining to her that you might not be eating. He said words to the effect that you must constantly be stuffing your face. But you don't have to be constantly stuffing your face to maintain a weight. He needed to say that what you're doing is you're eating, first of all, the wrong types of foods, but your portion size is still too big. So you need to make sure that you bring that down, because I'm sure that she would have been following his diet and bringing down her portion sizes to what she thinks is a normal size. But she's coming from a portion size that's made her gain, 400 pounds plus, if you're talking about starting at 200 pounds. So her portion size were way too big. So she's maybe cut them in half. But still that would be probably enough to maintain her weight. She's then got to cut it in half again to start losing her weight. But yeah, on this particular program or this show, she was saying, oh, but I'm not eating too much, not eating all the time. And you're saying, oh, well, you must be. And you think, well, you've got to explain to her how it works, how the body works and why she's maintaining her weight. So, yeah. And he said that you don't have to eat for 4 years because you've got that much stored on you, that much fat. And again, she said, well, that's stupid. If I didn't eat for 4 years, then I'm going to die, which is true. If you don't eat, you can get away with not eating for, I think, technically about 3 weeks, the body will survive for. It'll start eating itself and it will start eating its own muscle, and your body will break down. It won't be able to do all the processes it needs to survive. So, yeah, you will become weaker and weaker after about 3 weeks. I think then, you might last a little bit longer than that, but certainly not 4 years. So, again, it was another thing that I just watched this section of this program and I thought, well, yeah, saying something like that is a bit silly. That, don't worry about not eating. You could not eat for 4 years and you'd still be all right. So, yeah, I'd like to see that case study. Try and pass that one as a scientific experiment. We're gonna see if people who weigh a lot can survive for 4 years without food. So anyway, yeah. Bit sidetracked there, but talking about pizza and Chinese, obviously they're not foods that you want to be having every single night. Maybe once a week, but if you can have it as maybe once a month, probably better. But I think that if you have a balanced diet, then it should be all right anyway. So Janice has donated £77.77. So thank you for that. And this is the message to counteract 66.6. So thank you for that, Janice. And yeah, that was the likes goal last time with 366.6 given the Halloween thing. Thank you for that. And Sheila has donated £7.75. So thank you for that, Sheila. And the message is, our triple digit weather is finally over here in Texas. I'm loving the 50-degree weather we have had here the past few days. Be safe. So thank you for that. And talk about a world away, literally, from what we've had here in the UK of storms and rain and absolute nightmares for lots of people. And then, triple digit figures. That's like super hot, especially here in the UK. It would be, but it's hot anyway, really. But anyway, thank you for that, Sheila. Right, we are going to be jumping into tonight's Phil Jam. Okay, the microphone I've left on. I've left the microphone on because I keep forgetting to turn it on when we do the Phil Jam. But let's jump into this message from Joe. I'll click on that.
Clean my Mac.
Me and my Mac. Oh, that's an advert for Clean My Mac. Obviously, they know somehow that I've just got a Mac or a MacBook. Again, I don't know how they know these things, but this is what you'll find on YouTube. They start advertising things for you. And I don't think I've looked at any videos regarding Macs, but anyway, they find out what you've been buying or watching. I'm trying to figure out how they know that, but you start seeing adverts that are catered to what you've just purchased. And Clean My Mac, and they always say, oh, you know what it's like, you buy a new Mac and then pretty soon after you've got it, it starts running slowly. And I thought, my Macs never run slowly. I don't know what they're going on, maybe because I know a bit about computers and, but even defragging, that's something that happens automatically on computers now. So you don't even have to worry about doing that yourself. So I think you should, if you keep things organised, it should run fine most of the time. But anyway, let me mute this advert so that we don't have to listen to it and I can skip through it. But it's always the same kind of thing. They say, oh, your Mac's running really slowly. It's like, no, it's running fine, thank you. Right. That is now done. And we are going to be jumping into it. Joe says YouTube is part of Google. They have your Google search history. So thank you for that. Yeah, I probably typed into Google MacBook Pro to try and see if it was suitable for my editing software so that I could use that to edit stuff together. So that is how they would have got that information. But everything is, what am I doing? I'm grabbing the wrong guitar. It's this one that is plugged in and it has to be plugged in. So let's see what we can see with this. Right, well, this is going to potentially mute some strings, so let's get rid of that. Right, okay, right, this is a backing track, prog rock instrumental jam, and this is coming from Nick Neblo, or Neblo, and that's the channel if you guys want to check this out independently. We'll have a listen to it and zoom out. Thank you for that. I think that's Barbara that just said that. We get the red dude up on screen. And I fold my legs just so that we can see the guitar a little bit more clearly. And we will... Okay, right. We have got delay, which is good. And, oh, I tell you what, I could get that within reach so that I might be able to do some wild work if I remember. But let's have a listen to this and see what's going on. As for the levels, let me know if you can hear this and what it sounds like. Kind of a little bit 80s here. Got some feedback. Can you hear this? quieter here. a little bit of wah-wah going on here. Sounds like the backing track, I don't know if it's the same over there, but it gets so loud that I then can't hear the guitar. So maybe the levels are a little bit funny. Was this the end? The end. And yeah, it is. Yeah, it's just going to be the end. So I kind of faded out to just some feedback going on. So yeah, I don't know why it suddenly started getting so loud. But yeah, there we go. That was tonight's Phil Jam. And yeah, I mean, that was a bit of a shame because it's one of those backing tracks where, you know, if you kind of wanted to, you can start kind of alternate picking and maybe doing tapping and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, had it gone on a little bit longer, maybe we would have gotten to all that kind of stuff. But that is what it is. It always tends to be the case that the ones that you want to last a little bit longer are like 5 or 6 minutes, and the ones that just keep on doing the same thing over and over again, they last for like 15 minutes. But anyway, there we go. And I'm just saying, kind of generally in life, that seems to happen. Not particularly with Joe's backing tracks, because we do get a mix of all sorts. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in for tonight's live stream. We are going to be back with another video tomorrow night, so look out for that one. We'll be live streaming on Tuesday night, of course, and that's still going to be at 11 PM Greenwich Mean Time. Check your clocks to make sure that you tune in when it starts, because of the changes with time zones and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, as I said, just search on Google time in London, England, to find out what time it is where I am, because I'm going to be live streaming at 11 PM on Tuesday. So, as I always say, try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. But thank you guys for watching tonight, for joining me, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!